MVP candidates go head-to-head. One didn't finish the game, though.
The top seeds continue to fall at the All England. Same story with Chang Wei's opponent.
And why Jose said this after Man United's Europa League outing.
Shut up.
What's your language, Mr. Mourinho?
I know, right? You do not want to see this girl angry, I tell you. I've seen it. Not nice. Okay, we've got the full leads on that a little later on the show. But TGIF sports fans, it's Michelle and Swarna on Daily Live. Thank you so much for being so polite and so on time. That's the reason why you're here right now.
Okay, less than 20 games in the NBA regular season, and we are down to 5 candidates for MVP. They are
LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Isaiah Thomas.
And just hours ago, 2 went face-to-face. Westbrook versus Leonard. Spoiler alert, no contest. There was one clear winner.
Yes.
Yep, you guessed it. Welcome to the Westbrook Show. And you know what? I think we finally deciphered his triple-double formula. First quarter, Russ concentrates on scoring as many points as possible. In case you don't believe me, we'll show you 3 examples. In this game, he collected 11 points in the opening quarter. So one category in his triple-double checklist sorted. And then in the second quarter, Westbrook focuses on helping out his teammates. The recipient here, Doug McDermott. Then the helping hand to Domantas Sabonis. How about spreading the love to Taj Gibson, huh? In this quarter alone, Westbrook racked up 9 assists. So 2 categories in his triple-double checklist, kind of sorted. Third quarter, Russ pays extra attention to rebounding, gets the board there, but unlucky with the putback. Later on, picking up the pieces after a Kawhi miss. Mine. And then demonstrating a monster leap here. By the third quarter, Westbrook was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. And believe it or not, this is the first time Russ has recorded a triple-double against the 2007 NBA champs. Fourth quarter, he uses it to tie loose ends, mostly to add to his points total. 23 points on the night, 13 rebounds, and 13 assists. A big win for OKC. So according to the triple-double tracker, Russ is now 10 shy of matching the all-time record held by Oscar Robertson for over 5 decades, and has matched the great Wilt Chamberlain with 31 in a single season. Here's a show-off stat for you. The only 2 opponents he has not recorded a triple-double against are the Chicago Bulls and the Charlotte Hornets.
Be more physical, man. That's a good team, obviously, and tonight I thought we did a good job of consistently playing even for 4 quarters.
There's an adjustment period when you bring in 2 new guys, really 3 with Norris Cole, but you also bring in Gibson and McDermott. Besides the verbiage, what's the hardest thing about them coming and you being here?
Just rhythm, man. I think you got to get an opportunity to play with guys and create some rhythm, and you know, we got some games to do it to get ready for the playoffs.
You mentioned the playoffs. You guys are in a good position for the postseason right now. What do you need to do better down the stretch of the regular season?
Just defend. Make sure we're playing defensively at a high level towards the end of the season, and we'll be all right.
This is number 31 for you. The record is plus when you get it. So is it, I know it's not important to you in terms of the numbers, but is it important to you in terms of this team winning?
That's the most important part for me, is to come out and win, man. You know, obviously my teammates and coach staff make it easy for me to go out and compete at a high level, and I definitely thank them for everything, and my job is to make sure we come out and get wins.
Kawhi, well, let's just say he didn't have a good game. He left midway through the third with a facial injury, but even when he was on the court, he was careless in possession. His coach, Greg Popovich, reminding him that he's only the 4th best player in the league. Kawhi's shooting wasn't great either. He missed 9 of his 15 shots from the field and didn't convert a single from behind the arc. Maybe he was trying too hard or something. 19 points on the night. Spurs' 9-game winning run is officially over.
Yeah, he looks different with no hair.
And to make matters worse, Kawhi's condition is day-to-day, and there's a high likelihood he might miss the big one this weekend against the Golden State Warriors. Regardless, if he plays, that game's live on the network, 9:30 a.m. on Sunday on SuperSport 4. If you remember, the last time these 2 met was on opening day. Spurs won that game convincingly by a 29-point margin.
Now here's a story to wet your lips. According to reports in Italy, Manchester United officials had secret talks with Napoli star Dries Mertens in a 2-hour meeting at a hotel in Naples. Now, Mertens has been converted into a central striker and has 23 goals to his name in the Serie A this season. Here's the thing, the 29-year-old's contract runs out in 2018. Lots of questions. Back to reality, Jose Mourinho made 7 changes for this Europa League tie against FC Rostov and was lucky enough to have his players fit after this bruising encounter, and that was Paul Pogba running into a brick wall, then Ander Herrera giving Alexander Bukharov a taste of his boot. Even Henrik Mkhitaryan getting intimate with Fyodor Kudryashov, who then gets checked by his physios to see if his jaw is still intact. Even the mighty Zlatan Ibrahimovic was given some rough treatment too, no thanks to Alexandru Gatkan's backside. 38 fouls and 6 yellow cards dished out this game. Fortunately, United found a way back to unlock the stubborn Rostov defense. Marouane Fellaini combining well with Zlatan and Mickey. And there you have it, the Armenian becoming the first Red Devil to score in 3 consecutive European games since 2010. But of course, there was to be no happy ending for the visitors. Timofey Kalashev slicing open the United defense. Bukharov with a clean connection and goal, ending United's run of 443 minutes without conceding a goal in the competition. The night would not be complete without Mourinho picking a fight. What was that about, Jose?
The important thing is that after the match, we spoke, we hug, we respect each other, and we said nice things to each other. He told me apologize, and I told him I'm very happy that you don't play at Old Trafford. So we had nice words after the match, and during the match was just shut up.
Now, it's no surprise considering the condition of that pitch that match produced United's worst passing accuracy this season, just under 62%. It's only the second time this season that Mourinho's side has dipped below the 70% mark. Now, the return leg is in exactly 7 days' time.
We've tried to win today. Maybe we were not very focused at the beginning of the second half, but I think we've played as good as we could on this pitch. So I don't want to even speak about the pitch because for both sides the pitch was an awful thing. But for part of football, yeah, it was not a very interesting game, but whatever, we've tried to do everything.
But before the second leg though, there's a small issue of a FA Cup 6-round match against Mourinho's former team, Chelsea. That's live from 3:45 in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Now, the last time these two met, United lost 4-0, so definitely juicy stuff to watch, I tell you. And highlights, we promise, on Daily.
Now, in a matter of hours, Lez Ann will face third seed Viktor Axelsen in the quarterfinal of the All England Badminton Championship. The 6-time winner is the only reigning champion left standing after only 2 days of competition. Last edition's women's singles, men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles have all been shown the exit before the quarterfinal stage. Now, if Lez Ann wins his next 2 matches, he could face this man in the final, world number 1 Lee Chong-wei, in action here against Wang Tzu-wei of Chinese Taipei in the second round. Keep your eye on the player ranked 21st in the world in the near court here, unable to retrieve the Malaysian's return. Now, this would become a running theme in this encounter. First set in the bag for Chong-wei, 21-18. No change in strategy in the second. Chong-wei forcing his opponent to stretch for every return. More of the same, Chong-wei flirting with danger at the net, but is able to catch Tzu-wei by surprise, which results in another demonstration of the dive. Jürgen Klinsmann would be so proud. We're not done yet, though. Check out this cheeky net play from Chong-wei. Can you predict the outcome? Yeah, you guessed it. So after an hour of watching his opponent kiss the ground, Chong-wei puts Tzu-wei out of his misery. A straight sets win for the 34-year-old. He will next face Tian Ho-wei in a few hours' time.
21-18, 21-18.
Now, I don't want to jinx it, but the path to the final seems pretty clear for Chong-wei. This after second seed Jan O. Jorgensen and 2015 champion Chen Long were sent packing. So with 4 of the top 8 seeds out of the picture, the dream final could be a reality.
Still to come on Daily Live, LeBron James playing well, but his team, not so much. And a 6-goal thriller in France produces one of the best goals from the Europa League this week. Plus, how this accident affected the World Baseball Classic between Cuba and Australia.
You're watching Daily Live from Barcelona, where the penultimate day of F1 testing took place. Lewis Hamilton was quick out of the blocks. His fastest time was 1 minute and 19 seconds, but had to settle for second overall on the day. He was outpaced by 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel in his Ferrari, showing Hamilton and co that it won't be a stroll to the championships this time around. Daniel Ricciardo, third overall last season, finished 6th on the day and had this to say about his performance.
Now, the NBA champs Cleveland have a problem by the name of LeBron James, in a really strange way as well. Well, they need him to play all the time, every minute. And at 31 years young, that is not humanly possible, no. You see, when LeBron plays, the Cavs are a different team, and we all know that. When he doesn't, they are weak. Against Detroit this morning, Cleveland outscored their opponents by 18 points when James was on the court. And for the 9 minutes that he was sidelined, they were outscored by 23. Oh my. J.R. Smith returning after a thumb injury that kept him sidelined since December, but it was Kyrie Irving and LeBron James doing the damage early on. Kyrie finishing with 27 points and Cleveland up by 12 in the first Q. King James now not with 1 but 2 emphatic statements with his triple-double on the night. 29 points, 13 rebounds and 10 assists. As the Cavs were all over Detroit, Irving once again 50% shooting inside the arc. And then we're on to the third Q. Detroit clawing back Cleveland's massive advantage, but they still had problems dealing with LeBron. Cavs adding the third on a 22-5 run. The Pistons would respond in the fourth quarter though, scoring the first 13 points led by Andre Drummond. He'd finished the night on 20 points. Stanley Johnson off the bench to score 8 himself as well, while Reggie Jackson would help himself to 21 points and 5 assists, dooming the reigning champions to their 3rd straight defeat. And it's not just the 3 defeats that should worry the Cavs, because when we take a look at their last 8 games, only once have Cleveland conceded fewer than 100 points. But as they say, every cloud has its silver lining, right? Well, the Cavs have J.R. Smith back.
Oh, Jared, I know it's not the outcome you wanted, but at least you got back on the floor tonight. How did you feel?
I felt good. Just trying to get used to running up and down the floor again. But I felt better than I thought I was going to be. Shots were just short and didn't fall, so just trying to make an impact on the defensive end while I was out there.
You'd mentioned be more mental than physical. How did you handle the mental side of it? Because it seemed like you didn't get frustrated, you just kept fighting through it.
Yeah, I mean, the mental part was the minute restriction. That's the frustrating part for me anyway. I mean, you're gonna make him miss shots all the time, but when you're just not playing like you know how you think you want to, but also understanding the trainers and everybody has your best interest at heart is. It's kind of tick for tack, but I mean, I think they handled it pretty well.
East side to the west side, where Mike Conley and the Memphis Grizzlies has entertained the LA Clippers. The Clippers a little careless with the rock early on, 14 turnovers in total, which allows Conley to get the basket, 13 points for him there. Marc Gasol adding more damage with 20 points on the board. Second Q now, CP3 and Blake Griffin combining well. Griffin would finish with a double-double, 14 points, 12 rebounds. And then JJ Redick from downtown to give the Clippers a massive 11-point advantage. David Fizdale not happy with his team's defending. Memphis improved slightly after the break. Marc Gasol with a 3-point attempt, and Zach Randolph puts in the rebound as a part of his 18 points. But the combination of CP3 and Griffin was too much for Memphis, as LA outscored the Grizzlies 31-20 in the third quarter. And what about that for a shot by Jamal Crawford? 14 points for him as the Clippers win this one, 114-98.
Grizzlies were complaining about the lack.
Roger Federer's practice match ahead of the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells drew over 3,000 spectators. We're talking about a practice here. The Australian Open champ is drawn to meet Rafael Nadal as early as the 4th round, and whoever wins that tie will likely face Novak Djokovic. In that same half of the bracket is Kei Nishikori and Marin Cilic. His first round opponent, Nick Kyrgios. Tough is an understatement.
Well, I mean, definitely expectations have risen now, which is nice in a way, but at the same time, I liked how I played in Australia. I'm totally free, nothing to lose. That was sort of new for me again after all these years, but I'll try to keep that same approach, and now I know how that felt, so I think it's going to serve me well throughout the year. Everything that happens from here on now is like a bonus, really, and I still feel I'm at the beginning stages of my comeback, even though I won the Australian Open. Yeah, and I think Masters 1000s are a different animal, really. They present different challenges. You know, you don't always have 2 days off, so you also have to play back-to-back days, and you got to beat a lot of top 10 players to win the tournament. So I know it's going to be tough, maybe even tougher than a Grand Slam. But I'm here, I'm healthy, and I'm really looking forward to be back here.
Yeah, it was an important week for me. Obviously, you know, I hadn't played for it was pretty much 5 weeks since I'd lost in Australia, and you know, I had a tough loss there in Melbourne. So, you know, wanted to come back strong, and got through a really tough match in the quarters, and played some good stuff in the semis and the final. So, yeah, happy to have won in Dubai, and yeah, try and keep the momentum going here.
Andy Murray will kickstart his campaign against qualifier Vasek Pospisil, and his first real test could be in the form of Jo-Wilfried Tsonga in the quarters. Live coverage starts from 3 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Now, after failing to qualify for the Champions League, Ajax have taken their European dreams seriously. In the Europa League, 8 games played and not a single one lost. And it has been about 14 years since the 4-time European champs reached the last 8 of any UEFA competition. So maybe that's why they were not taking things lightly in the second-tier tournament. Copenhagen smoked Ajax in the first leg. See what I did at Swarna? Smoked? Yeah. They took less than a minute to go in front. William Quist lobbed that to Rasmus Falk, who had the simple task of slotting the Danish champs ahead. But then we have 19-year-old Kasper Dolberg pulled a Zlatan, and by that, I mean that he was scoring while facing away from the goal, just like the Swede who used to play for Ajax. That's his 15th of the season, by the way. However, former Cardiff striker Andreas Cornelius rose to the occasion highest, if you get what I mean, making sure Copenhagen got the advantage for the return leg.
Copenhagen will have an advantage to take to Amsterdam 7 nights.
Lyon fans making sure their presence was felt against Roma there. It also motivated their team to draw first blood. Mokhtar Diakabi pulled the French club ahead after Federico Fazio gave away the free kick. Diakabi turned from hero to zero less than 20 minutes later. A Stevie G-like slip gifted Roma the equalizer. Mo Salah capitalizing on Lyon's failure at the back. And then just before the break, the visitors took the lead. Daniela De Rossi sending in a cross. Fazio, the fastest one to it. 2 away goals for Roma. Looking good, right? Wrong, because things fell apart for them after the break. The give and go between Corentin and Tolisso and Alexandre Lacazette, and we're back to square one. And then former Ligue 1 Youth Player of the Year, Nabil Fekir, proved why he is one to look out for. Check this out. The 23-year-old took on not 1, 2, but 3 Romans, slotting it past the helpless Alisson. If you thought that was good, wait till you see what Lacazette did.
Lyon have been excellent since half-time. And here is Valbuena. And here is Lacazette. Oh! Stunning! From Alex Lacazette.
Former Roma left-back John Arnorisa will be in town next week.
No one refers to Risa as that much. He's Liverpool, through and through.
Geez, touchy much. Fine, Liverpool then.
The Liverpool legend will be at Berjaya Times Square next Sunday from 1 p.m. to meet you guys and take some selfies, so be there.
I won't.
Good.
Fine.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. Up next on Daily Dough, pies, dogs and coffee. The funny side of sport happening right after this. Welcome back to Daily. The World Baseball Classic in Tokyo saw Cuba take on Australia in the first elimination tie. After a pop-up from Australia's David Candelas, Frank Morejon was too quick for his own good and crashed headfirst into his team's dugout. Though a few minutes after treatment, Morejon was cleared to continue catching duties. Cuba loaded the bases, trusting in Alfredo Despina to bring everyone home with this grand slam. Even the cameraman couldn't find the ball, I tell you. The Cubans lead 4-1, then the Aussies fired back, Trent Altien getting a solo home run at the top of the 7th. Despina then needed a massage after his side allowed the Aussies to come back from down under. Get it? Down under? That massage came with a happy ending. Miguel Lajera struck out Brett Harmon to close the game at 4-3, ending the Australian sushi eating journey. George Best,
Kenny Dalglish,
David Beckham,
Luis Suarez,
Eric Cantona.
If you didn't already know, we've been naming the most famous men to wear the number 7 for Liverpool and Michelle's team, Man United.
Well, technically Beckham was 23, but anyways, the number 7 is actually pretty significant in our daily lives. We have 7 days in a week.
There's a movie called The Magnificent Seven.
And of course, Daily is live at 7 p.m. weekdays, huh?
We put up a 7-second promo on our social media of the show. You better know that by now.
Yep, the term 7th heaven means a state of euphoria.
And there's 7 wonders of the world.
Which kind of explains why this week's Fun Talk Friday features 7 of the funniest things that happened in sports this week.
At least we like to think they're funny.
Yeah, to us.
Kicking things off at the Champions League. This is Arsenal versus Bayern Munich.
Oh.
That looks like a bit of a pickle, huh? German fans really know how to make their voices heard. This tissue roll fiesta was to protest the expensive ticket prices.
At least they were clean tissues, okay? Imagine if they weren't. A slip and slide in Eredivisie here. Everyone's just falling all over the place, I tell you. Even the Ajax keeper Andre Onana failed to clear the ball. Now, I'm not a footballer myself, but from what I know, isn't a keeper supposed to belong in the penalty box, right?
Tell me about it, right?
Yeah. That is just blatant, I tell you.
Cry, Nadia.
Cry.
This is the NHL. Minnesota's Chris Stewart scores!
Oh.
Okay. Where'd you go, boo? Huh? The ref found it in the goalie's jersey. Totally shrugged it off, but what if he did it on purpose, Mish?
I think he hit it there, definitely.
I think so too.
And I hope this never happens to me, okay? Jurickson profile getting that interview, and look at that, sugar overload. And he even got creamed.
Ooh,
I tell you, that's not it, that's not it. He still even got more after that, but thankfully this time, someone actually gave him water, okay, to wash off all that sweetness of his face.
Denver versus Washington here. Washington's Markieff Morris pulls a Draymond Green. Honey, that's taking competition to a whole new level.
I have no idea how that feels, but I'm sure it is painful.
I don't want to know.
Roma, of course, here playing against Napoli in the Serie A, and I don't know what he's doing. It's a celebration apparently, but it looks more like he's marking his territory.
Guys in suits, pretty serious affair.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that is not pretty.
Except he spills his drink on the way to the bus. Poor defending there, I must say.
He needs proper dry cleaning, I tell you.
How to keep your serious face with that, right?
Nope.
They're too cute.
It is. And of course, there you have it, wrapping up the week with a bit of fun right there. I still want to know about his dry cleaning bill after that, with that coffee.
Those suits must cost a bomb.
I know.
In itself. But it's not the end of the week yet. There's still football this weekend.
I know. Okay, I was just saying that to sort of lead them up to football countdown, you know?
Sure you are, Mish.
Yes, it is. 9 p.m. live tonight, channels 816 and 834. And it's also available on YouTube as well on Stadium Astro's official channel.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye. Like
Okay.
NSYNC.